to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
I can see through the diamonds shining in your eyes. You're the type that's pretty bad for me. I can see through the movements as you dance in your thighs. This is not the way it's meant to be. Remember when you reached the top, the way back down's that long, long drop. It's easy to trip, it's easy to fall and fall. When I'm all alone, my mind starts questioning. It questions me, it questions you. When I'm on my own, it gets the best of me. I just hope you're not here to see it through. Remember when you reached the top, the way back down's a long, long drop. It's easy to trip, it's easy to fall and fall. Remember when you reached the top, the way back down's a long, long drop. It's easy to trip, it's easy to fall and fall. Nobody loves you, nobody cares, nobody loves you, nobody cares. Chimney tops and bus stops help to fill my brain, but it never, ever, ever works. Pretty soon we're all gonna be completely insane. We might as well just do it now and first. Remember when you reached the top, the way back down's a long, long drop. It's easy to trip, it's easy to fall and fall. Remember when you reached the top, the way back down's a long, long drop. It's easy to trip, it's easy to fall and fall. Nobody loves you, nobody cares, nobody loves you, nobody cares, nobody loves you, nobody cares, nobody loves you, nobody cares.
Welcome to Everything Sparkle. I'm so glad to have you guys on from England.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, over the pond.
How we doing?
Okay, so everyone needs to introduce themselves. Andy, you can go first.
Yeah, I'm Andy. I'm the vocalist in Souljacker.
I'm Damon. I'm the drummer in Souljacker.
I'm Dan.
and I'm the lead guitarist in Soul Jacket.
I'm James. I play bass.
Oh, wow. And so, James, you're the one that just had a baby, right?
Yeah.
I
A year
remember.
ago.
How old?
He turned 1 in February, so he's 14 months old.
How cute. Boy or girl?
Yeah. He's a boy. His name's
You
Rory.
go with- His name's what?
Rory.
Roar. I love that name. That's such a good name. Oh, my.
It's a top name.
Very Irish name, isn't it?
It is. It is a very Irish name.
So, how long have you guys been together?
Years now. Yeah, about 3 years. Me and Dan have been there for the whole of the ride.
It's been very, very, very tough as a punter and an artist. Yeah. So God, how was the last 12 months gone?
So it's just really low, isn't it? It's just a low ebb,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's been
People have
weird.
had
It's been
to,
so weird.
And before that, were you guys playing in a lot of concert halls? Because you kind of went down the
boy. His name's
you go
Rory.
with-
In Soul Jacket.
But it never remember when you reach that top, the way back down top. It's easy to trip, it's easy to fall, don't fall. Remember when you reach that top, the way back down to the long, long drop. It's easy to trip, it's easy to fall, don't fall. Nobody loves you. Nobody cares. Nobody loves you. Nobody cares. Nobody loves you. Nobody cares. Nobody loves you. Nobody cares.
Welcome to Everything Sparkle. I'm so glad to have you guys on from England.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, over the pond.
How we doing?
Okay, so everyone needs to introduce themselves. Andy, you can go first.
Yeah, I'm Andy. I'm the vocalist in Soul Jacket.
I'm Damon. I'm the drummer in Soul Jacket.
I'm Dan, and I'm the lead guitarist in Soul Jacket.
I'm James. I play bass.
Oh, wow. And so, James, you're the one that just had a baby, right?
Yeah.
I
A year
remember.
ago.
How old?
He turned 1 in February, so he's 14 months old.
How cute. Boy or girl?
Yeah. He's a boy. His name's
You go
Rory.
with- His name's what?
Rory.
Roar. I love that name. That's such a good name. Oh, my.
It's a top name.
Very Irish name, isn't it?
It is. It is a very Irish name.
So, how long have you guys been together?
Soul Jack has been going for about 3 years now. Yeah, about 3 years. Me and Dan have been there for the whole of the ride. A couple of other people have been and gone, but this lineup has Damon's been with us for how long now, Damon?
Just over a year, isn't it now, I think?
Just over a year, and James has literally just joined. But Soul Jack has been going for 3 years.
Wow. And you guys were going so strong. I know COVID kind of hit you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Now let James go with that one.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, as you know, it's sort of hit everybody pretty nastily, didn't it? You know, venues closing, nobody's able to play any sort of gigs at all. Can't even get together to record. You know, it's been very, very tough as a punter and an artist. Yeah, so you know, God, how was the last 12 months gone?
It's all just really low, isn't it? It's just a low ebb,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's just, it's been
People have
weird.
had
It's been
to,
so weird.
And before that, were you guys playing in a lot of concert halls? Because you kind of went down the rundown. You guys were doing like really busy, doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we used to be prolific up until, well, 2020, really. Between 2018 and 2019, we were gigging every week at least. So when it all comes to a halt, it's hit us hard. Yeah, and we were just getting better and better live and playing in front of bigger and bigger audiences as well. So yeah, it did hit quite hard. Yeah.
So whose idea was it to get together? Did you get a manager that was like, would they put you guys together? Or you guys met and were like, we're going to become Souljacker?
Dan, do you want to explain that one?
Well, it was Andy who first got the band together. I think I joined after about 3 weeks or something, or a couple of months or something.
But we've been playing on the same sort of circuit for about 10 years, hadn't we? We've just never been in a band together.
So you're the one that said, hey, we're going to make this, we're going to put a band together. You guys had more of the same musical influences. And then what happened? You guys ended up like, we're going to be Souljacker, and then we're going to get an agent manager. Tell us a little bit about that.
That sort of just came along, like least expected. It actually all happened in the COVID thing. We were, like I say, just playing week in, week out, doing the toilet circuit, as you call it. You know what I mean? Doing all the dredgy gigs that you have to do at the start and try and build up a following. And then when COVID came, it just halted everything. And it was through an online performance that Mick Hudson got in touch with us, and he sort of proposed to us to be our manager. And obviously we've made a lot of plans, and since then, and there's a lot of things we can't really say or aren't confirmed completely, but everything's certainly progressed and it's gone the right way. So even though it has been a bit of a dark and dingy time on the live front, we've managed to pull quite a few positives out of it. Getting the manager, like you say, getting an agent, especially a guy, that's been in the industry and worked with the best for the last.
You get name drop. You were name dropping to me, Andy. You're welcome to tell the audience. Like, you're welcome.
If you Google Mick, you'll see all of the people he's worked with and he's helped.
When you mentioned some.
Yeah, over on your side of the water, I think he played a big part in launching the careers of like Slipknot and Marilyn Manson. Some pretty big names. But as far as his photography goes, which is his bread and butter, he's worked with you name it, honestly. So definitely a good contact to have as a manager.
That's really impressive. So he kind of sought you guys out then. Yeah,
he really did. He just kept messaging me, and I was like, leave me alone, Mick.
Really? Did you know who he was, or not really at the time?
No. It was very, very flattering. But yeah, he instigated the whole thing, and hopefully after this lockdown, we can start putting things into action that we should have been doing last summer.
I know everything's going to be a year delayed. So who came out with the name Souljacker?
I came up with that name quite simply. That you must know the band Eels from I think they're from New York. They have a song called Souljacker, and it's just a name that just sprung out to me when we started this band. I knew we needed a name, and for some reason it was just there. And to be honest, Souljacker, it is quite a good name, isn't it? It grabs attention, so I don't regret stealing it blatantly from somebody's song.
I've never heard of that before either, that somebody stole a name of somebody's song. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's more common than you think. I think a lot of people can get inspired, can't they, by song names?
Probably. It's never come out like in this setting, like an interview. No one's ever said, hey, I got it from that. But yeah, I'm sure it happens a lot more than we hear about.
Yeah, there's no moment of genius, just a cool song.
Who comes up with the lyrics?
For the album that's out at the moment, I've come up with all the lyrics, but the new stuff that's come in, we're all writing, so it'll be a bit different.
All of you guys together?
Separately, really, but then obviously we jam out in the room, and the magic happens.
So is that something you guys do? Are you guys all lyricists? I've never heard of like 4 people contributing to like the lyrics. Usually there's like 1 or 2 people that are like the brainchild behind them.
There was a band called the Beatles, wasn't there? They did something like that. But not that I'm putting us on any sort of pedestal. But no, Damon, the drummer, he's the wild card. He really is. He couldn't play drums a couple of years ago. Joined the band, has just hit the nail on the head with it, and then he starts throwing songs into the hat. And you want to hear some of his tunes? What's your inspiration lyrically, Damon?
All sorts, really. Over the years, I'd say one of the big ones was probably Soul Jacker. I was there at your first gigs, wasn't it? With Bishop Dan.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting point, actually, what Dave just said there, because him and James essentially were like fans of the band before they joined, weren't you?
Yeah.
So what did you do when you said you just learned how to play the drums, kind of?
Yeah, I just one day randomly just got an electric drum kit and just started messing about at home, and then a few months down the line ended up having a drunken jam with Andy at his, and then joined the band and carried on from there, really.
Wow.
It was so natural. It's strange. We tried jamming with other drummers that were like technically good and this, that, and the other, and nothing was clicking. And literally, like Damon just said, he just come round and had the stuff set up in the living room. We had a few beers, started jamming, and because he knew the songs from coming to all the gigs and stuff, he just could play it. And I was like, what's going on here?
And now you're a rock star. Oh, you're like an overnight rock star. That's so cool, Damon. So what did you guys do before this? You guys were in different bands. Tell us a little bit about your musical like past. We'll go back. We'll go in reverse. James, you start. You tell us a little bit about your musical history.
My musical history actually involves Andy quite a lot, funnily enough. I mean, I've been playing in and out of like nonsense bands for best part of 15, nearly 20 years. I don't know, but I actually first met Andy about 12 years ago. Yeah, we formed a band called Asias. So we've got a good musical history, and we always sort of bounced off each other. But I just like to keep myself busy. Really, I'll play with various different people. Like to keep it fresh.
Wow. So what about you, Damon? Well, Damon, this is your band history. Dan, what about you?
Yeah, a bit similar to James, really. Probably been playing live around 15 years, something like that. But it's mainly always been covers that I've always done.
And you guys were in different bands. You were in a different band with Andy. Were you in a different band with James too, or? No.
Never played with either of them before. I've been to see them when them two were in a band together.
Oh, okay.
But I think Andy vaguely remembers it. I'm not sure if James did. I didn't know James back then.
I don't.
But Dan, you were the one that said, let's get together and form this band. What's that? You were the one to kind of be like, let's get together and form this band.
Well, no, that was Andy. Andy decided to get the band together. And then he wanted a lead guitarist. So he just sent me a message. And I think me and Andy met up for an acoustic jam, played a few songs, and that was it.
So did you guys have other jobs, or is like being a musician was your main gig? At what point were you like, this is going to be our main focus?
I'm self-employed, doing paint and decorator.
Oh, nice.
So I try and fit music in more than work if I can. But we're doing the covers. I was kind of making a living from that. Kind of, if you get what I mean. But.
And then James, what about you?
Well, I actually work as a sound engineer, so I work in the live music theatre industry. So I'm always amongst live events, and it's very difficult to fit a band into my lifestyle. But you make the sacrifices to do what you love most.
So they were pretty cool about it at your job, and you're like, well, I have a gig, and then they're like, well, you have this on Saturday night.
They're really not, but it's I've just they're flexible with me. They're very flexible with me.
And Damon, what was your big career before it was like, oh no, I'm a drummer in a rock band now?
I'm still a mechanic, and I've done it since I left school. Really, I'm still doing it now.
Oh wow, okay, that's cool. You got some useful skills there, Damon. And Andy, what about you?
Oh, I'm the bum of the band, me. Yeah, no, I've done a bit of jack of all trades, done all sorts of different jobs over the years. But since Soul Jacker started, I made it my priority and my focus to sort of steer the band towards somewhere, and it's starting to pay off now, which is good. You know what I mean? It's good. And fingers crossed, you know, we'll be in a position in the next year or so where we might all be able to just focus on the band fully.
So bands have always kind of been your thing. There was never like you're not a painter or something.
No trade, so to speak. Like I say, I've just done loads of different jobs, from working in call centres to chefing to cleaning solar panels, cleaning houses. Yeah, you name it. Working in McDonald's. That's actually where me and James first met all those years ago. Yeah, you
I
name
love
it.
that. What a good story.
Yeah. It's a very creative place.
Friends off that. How was it like? Oh, hey, I want a Big Mac. Can I have your number?
It was something like that, yeah.
That was the biggest perk, that you could just make whatever burger you wanted on your break, couldn't you? If you wanted like a chicken nugget burger, you could have a chicken nugget burger. You know what I mean? Fillet of fish on a quarter pounder, go for it, go wild. You know.
Start creating with burgers.
Yeah. In fact, you know what, lads? I'm leaving the band. I'm going to go and work for McDonald's again.
So who's the most focused one on the band? If you had to say one of you was the most focused on it, which one of you would it be?
Definitely Andy.
Yeah. I eat, sleep, and breathe it. So yeah. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I'm doing stuff to do with the band, whether it's writing, recording, or plugging, or trying to sort out gigs, or just promoting stuff. Yeah, I mean, like I say, as we touched on before, the other guys, well, certainly Damon and Dan at the moment, have still got full-time jobs. So yeah, I do as much as I can just to try and get the name out there as much as possible.
Who was the wild man of the band?
Probably Dan after a few. Probably. But I reckon Damon's got a bit of a wild side too. Well, they're brothers, you see, so they're the same genes. Both a bit crazy.
Who's the ladies' man of the band?
James. Look at him. Just look at him.
Is that true, James?
No comments.
Who's the biggest prankster out of the four of you?
Ooh, prankster. That's a good one, that. I think I'm the most sarcastic. I don't know if that nearly everything I say is some sort of joke. But I don't know. It would be probably Damon, I'd say. I reckon he's got a few tricks up his sleeve.
Is that true, Damon? Are you a jokester?
Probably. It's probably come from being working in a garage, actually, that. Always
Look at this.
You're always watching your back, making sure someone's not doing something to you or whatever. But yeah, probably.
Just look at his face. He looks mischievous, doesn't he?
You know what you're gonna do, Damon.
What's that?
You look the most mischievous out of the four. Okay, so what's next? When all this COVID stuff's gone, you're gonna drop some more songs this year, and then is there any focus of a tour at the end of the year?
Yeah, hopefully. Not a tour, so to speak, I don't think, because I think everything is going to be a little bit different this year. But we have got some small gigs in the pipeline, and providing festivals can go ahead, hopefully we'll do a few festivals as well.
Wow, that'll be really exciting. Did you do a lot of that before as far as festivals go?
Yeah, and like I said before, we were sort of just getting to a point where we were starting to play some good ones and getting shortlisted for some good ones when everything turned upside down.
Where's your biggest fan base at?
Over in your neck of the woods, really? America. Yeah, we seem to have a lot of listeners in America. A lot of the people I speak to on Facebook and stuff like that are all over America. That's why we really want to, we're pushing interviews with people like yourself and we want to get over there really next year if possible and do some gigs.
That would be great because you guys have never performed in America, but you're getting all these American fans. That's really interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you guys talked about what other band you'll collab with? Like who will be like your opening band or who you'll open for? Or is that something you could talk about?
Not as far as America goes, absolutely no idea. I think what I'd like to do, I think, is maybe do some festivals like across the country and do some festivals, because then you kind of play into an audience each time, aren't you?
Oh yeah, that's true. That is.
But we would play with anybody. So any bands you know or are watching and they want an English support band over there next year, we'll do it.
Don't you have to have a similar sound though? You can't just be like, you know.
We're like chameleons. We could just do whatever, can't we?
You're not going to open for a country music act.
I don't know. Mary Jane's got a little bit of a country vibe to it.
So what are some bands that you guys played with before all of this went down? You know, you did some like festivals, some stuff. Was there any bands that you were doing multiple concerts with?
Dan's your man for this one.
I can't remember now, to be honest.
Well, the Real People was a good one, wasn't it, at the TIV? The Real People, they were a good band to play with. Nice fellas. But at some of the festivals we did, some of the headline acts were pretty established names. I think at Rudfest that we did, I think it was like Top Loader. At Clanfest, it was Dodgy and the Fratellis. Who else was there? There's a few. It's all been on festival bills mainly though, and it all, because we were gigging so much, they all merged into one. So I can understand why Dan struggles remembering as well. But yeah, we're hoping to play with some even bigger bands, you know, after the lockdown.
And I always ask this to all my guests: who were you a fan of growing up that you were surprised ended up being a fan of you?
That's a really good question. Well, Tony for you guys, I suppose. He was a big inspiration. There was a guy, a guitarist called Tony Dowler from Manchester. Not a big household name in America or anything like that, but he was really had a great reputation, didn't he, as a guitarist? And his band was at the Hellhounds. They did a lot of big festivals, didn't they? And unfortunately, he's recently died. God bless. But I think Dan and Damon were really chuffed when he heard our album, and he said that he liked it, weren't you?
Yeah, he just got to hear it just before he went as well. But yeah. Give some good compliments on it and stuff. Said he loved it and that.
So where can we find your music now? Where can we get like a full album?
You can buy a CD still on Bandcamp, which is great. But you can also stream it on all the usual suspects: Spotify, Amazon, iTunes. Just type in Souljacker and we'll pop up.
How exciting. Thank you guys so much for coming on my show. I love having people from England because I love England and I love the sound. I've never heard a band from England I didn't like. So I love the music videos and all the stuff that you guys have sent me. But one more question before I let you go. Who do people say you sound the most like?
We've had some good comparisons. The best ones that I've heard are Black Sabbath, Soundgarden, and The Who.
Soundgarden, I can see that.
Yeah. They're pretty three big influences. So to be compared to anything like that is great.
And the music you have coming up,
I'd take that.
is the music you have coming up this year, is it a lot like the stuff we've already seen, or is it going to be completely different? Because now you have like, you know, Damon, you have James to the mix that might be a little bit different from your earlier stuff.
Yeah, definitely. We're still going to have all the riffs and stuff like that, but Damon's songs, for starters, are going to be a different writer, so that they're going to have a little bit of a different edge. Obviously, James on bass, that'd be great because we did the last album as a 3-piece, so it's nice to have a proper bass player again, you know. Yeah, these guys are clicking together really good. So yeah, it is going to be a slightly different sound. It'd be very familiar but different.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to hear the new stuff coming out. You said August was one of the dates, right?
Well, hopefully we can get it out before our first gig of the year. We've got our first gig booked for July, so ideally we'd like to get it out there ready for then and see what sort of response we get to it live as
Where
well.
should we follow you guys at? Where is it that we should keep up with when everything exactly is going on?
Well, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Our YouTube channel's a pretty good source as well. Like I say, if you just search for Souljacker, we're generally coming up top of the list nowadays.
Perfect. So we got to follow you on Souljacker on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I got it. Guys. I got you in. Thank you guys so much.
We'll give you a follow back.
And you guys need to come out here and play. You said you guys are going to play just for me here in America. So come on out.
Super. Yeah, we will do. We'll definitely be over in California.
Welcome to Everything Sparkle. With us, we have Sar. And Sar, you have a couple things going on. First, you have Sartech, and then you're into Bitcoin and you're doing some events with Bitcoin. So tell us about both.
So Sartech is my business. I have two of them. Both locations are in Fresno, Clovis area. I'm heavy into crypto. I got into it in like 2013 with a guy named Cebu. He's the crypto wizard for me. So I got involved with it real early. We got into mining really early. So I'm really well-rounded and versed in cryptocurrency. As far as my business, my shops, I do electronic repairs for computers, tablets, laptops, MacBooks, pretty much anything electronic.
I need to come see you, like for real. I really need to come see you.
Yeah, phone repairs, I knock them out pretty quick, like 15, 20 minutes. So bring them back. I have really good Yelp reviews, like 5-star Yelp reviews.
Yeah, and you said you're down the street from the 559. And then, okay, so speaking of, what's this thing you're doing now with Bitcoin? You want to do kind of like a contest?
So I have a sweepstakes going on right now for Bitcoin. It's a $50 buy-in at the shop. You come to my location. You pay $50 to register. I send you an email with a bunch of stuff. You fill it out and send it back to me, and you're in the contest, the sweepstakes. In about a month, we're going to have the prize, and it's a $500 prize with a Nano Ledger S. It's a little hardware wallet. If you give me 1 second, I could go run and grab it. But second place prize is $170 or $150, and third place prize is $75. So it's a pretty cool little sweepstake. It's an easy way to make some cryptocurrency. If you're not into it, it's an easy way to get into it. And you can make some money, next year.
Go grab it really quick. Go grab your thing.
Yeah, hold on. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes.
2 minutes. You said 30 seconds.
Okay, here.
Nice.
So there's two of them. This one's the Nano Ledger S. This is the one that is for the
that
sweepstakes
is
now.
a good one. Okay.
And then this is going to be, I'm going to have another sweepstakes. That's going to be a $1,000 prize. Same buy-in, $50 buy-in, same thing. But this one's going to be a $1,000 prize on a Nano Ledger X. This one's a little bit better, has more storage space for more coin. It handles more coin, and it's Bluetooth. It's a little bit better than the other one, but the other one is still really good to get involved in Bitcoin for your first, for your first round.
So what else do we get with the $50 entry fee? Do we get like a beer when we go to the party or whatever? Because you said there's going to be like a little get together.
Yeah, I want to do an event somewhere like hopefully somewhere like your guys' location, the 559, or like a pizza joint, probably, but more like a adult atmosphere because I
But
don't
will
want it
we
to
get
be.
something else, or is just that $50 buy-in, and then we're just on our own? Does it come with a T-shirt that says Sartech?
Actually, I do want to provide some specialty items, which are cryptocurrency, like the really cheap cryptos that I believe in that could possibly be something. So there's some really special gifts that I'm offering when you come in. I give you options and choices on what the special gift is. But yeah, I do offer something special for the $50. It's not, you're not going to get away with just paying $50 and that's it. You'll get something out of it.
Nice. Okay, so if you've never been into Bitcoin, you can still come. You can still do all this. Is this a great way to get involved if you've never got involved before?
Yeah, actually it is, just because I kind of do all the footwork for you as far as transferring Bitcoin to your account. You can see how long it takes, the process, what the wallets look like, how to interact with the wallets. It's kind of like a crash course. That's kind of why I like it so much. I did this with another buddy of mine out in Vegas, and it turned out really, really well. So that's kind of why I wanted to do it here. It's really slow here, but it's still gaining some traction, but it's really fun. I mean, it's a great way to get involved in Bitcoin. I mean, it's $50. You get $500 in Bitcoin. That could be like $10,000 next year. You never know, you know?
So please help dispel some of the myths, because I was telling you, like, I had a friend that invested a lot, but then got nervous somehow when the virus started, and then ended up selling a lot of it and losing some at the time that he sold. And you said you should never sell it. Tell us what the goal is. You invest money, and then what happens?
So there's short-term and long-term coins.
Okay.
Some long-term coins that I like are stuff like Tezos. Tezos has an amazing blockchain and ecosystem. There's a ton of people, developers that are working with it. Has a bright future. That's the long term. Short term coins, stuff like Dogecoin is very popular right now. It doesn't have any real functionality. It's kind of a parody coin. So I like to call that a short term coin, because I bought some just because it was the hype. And then when it hit 35 cents, I sold it. You know, I put a marker, I picked where I wanted to sell it, and I just sold it. And I didn't worry about the what ifs. You know, I just was happy with my turnaround, because I bought it at 4 cents. I sold it for 35 cents. I made a ton of money. I walked away happy. Tezos isn't really like that. It does fluctuate big, but you don't get as much coin for the price, and it's not as big of a bang when it fluctuates. So long-term coins are a little different than short-term coins, but there's plenty of short-term coins out there.
So Bitcoin is a long-term coin. There's no point in being in it short-term.
Yeah, Bitcoin, when you get involved in it, you always want to, not always, unless you got like a lot of money. But usually you just want to kind of buy what you can. 60,000 is a lot to buy one Bitcoin. So, you know, you buy what you can, 1,000 or 2, and just walk away from it. Don't look at how much it costs every day. Just kind of walk away and wait till next year. I have a customer named Ken Buckley. Shout out to Ken Buckley. He's an older gentleman. He took a risk, $400. He bought Bitcoin. He called me. He bought this last year, last year. He called me. He's at like $3,200, $3,400 off of a $400 investment. So, you know, and he wishes he could kind of move his money around and invest in other places, but that's not how coin works. You want to kind of hold it. And
can you take some of your money out? And I asked this when we had a financial advisor. I'm like, my whole thing is I have no problem investing money if at some point I could at least just get what I started in there with, you know, then I could invest like 5,000 if I could take 5,000 out 5 years from now. Something
100%.
like possible to do that with Bitcoin?
100%. So let's hypothetically say that guy, Ken Buckley, he invested his $400 and he's at 3,500. Let's just hypothetically say, and he wants to pull $3,000 out. He can. So he transfers it from Coinbase to his bank account. And to my understanding, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know taxes, but there's capital gains taxes, which isn't that big of a deal, because speculation was that it's like 50% or 48% or something, but it's not. It's 15% if you claim it that year, and it's 20% if you want to claim it longer than a year. So it's not really that big of a hit. He'll get hit 15%. It's not that much money he'll get hit with. You know, it's like a couple $100. I don't know, $450 if I'm not mistaken, something like that. He won't get hit that bad, so he can pull out 3 G's and still have $450 taxed. So he'll still have a good, you know, $2,550 or $2,600. So it's not too bad.
So he'll have it rolling in there. The money.
Yeah, yeah, he'll have that. He'll have $3,000, but the government will want to tax him at the end of the year. There's a new section for cryptocurrency, and they tax it as property. So yeah, and that's where the speculation came out of it being 50% because of that. It was so wrong. They were so wrong. It's only like 15%. Capital gains. Everybody thought it was a capital gains tax, which it is, but it's not like a house capital gains tax. It's
yeah, it's smaller because it's not worth as much as a house.
Yeah, I guess, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
So, how did my friend lose money by selling? Was it low at the time? Is it like stocks?
So let's say he bought at 40,000.
I know he had a lot. He probably did.
Okay, so let's say he bought when Bitcoin was 40 grand, and he sold. Let's say he bought like 10 Bitcoin at 40,000, and then he sells it at 50,000. Okay, so he made $10,000 per coin.
Okay.
Now let's say the price skyrockets to 100,000. He just lost a lot of money because he sold too soon. If he would have held out a little bit longer, he would have made a ton of money. But that risk also goes backwards. If you hold too long, like right now, people are losing their butts on Dogecoin because it was at 40 cents and everybody was hyped up because Mark Cuban and Elon Musk and everybody's talking about adopting it into their businesses and blah, 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 blah. But now it's at 30 cents. So they kind of lost their butts because they should have sold when they didn't. It might keep going down. It might skyrocket up. You can't really tell, but
well, I think my friend actually lost money. Like he had ended up selling it for less than he bought it for. That's how he lost the money.
Yeah, he probably didn't. He probably panicked when the market was falling, and he didn't trust in Bitcoin. He never thought it would recover.
Is that the problem? It went down at one point. So
yeah, it's very, very volatile. The market is up and down often. It'll go from 60,000 to 45,000, and then back up to 65,000, and then down to 40,000. It'll be so much fluctuation up and down. People panic when they see that kind of movement. We've been involved. Again, Cebu put me onto Bitcoin in 2013, and I'm used to seeing it go from, you know, a couple cents to a couple dollars to a couple hundred to a couple thousand, and now it's at 60 grand. Nobody would have ever guessed it would be that much. And I laughed every time he told me it'd be $100. I laughed at him. Every time he said it would be $1,000, I laughed at him, and now I'm not laughing. I refuse to laugh anymore because it's 60 grand. One Bitcoin is worth more than an ounce of gold. Oh, not a gram of gold, an ounce of gold. One Bitcoin. I mean, that's crazy. That's
why
crazy.
do you think Bitcoin is better than other big coins that you could invest in?
It's not necessarily that it's better. Blockchain technology is essentially a digital ledger, okay? And it's like a checkbook. If you have a checkbook and this is how much money you have input, and then this is what you're spending every day, that's a ledger. So blockchain is a digital ledger. Bitcoin uses the blockchain technology to authenticate transactions and store them, so they can't be replicated. They can't be duplicated or altered or messed with. That creates a very stable and concrete financial system that can't really be manipulated by a corporation or an individual or something like that.
Right.
So it protects us. If I say Bitcoin is 60,000 and you buy it for 60,000, that means it's worth 60,000. No bank can say otherwise. So, you know, places like India where their currency isn't worth anything, Bitcoin saves those people. And same with other countries. It makes it kind of like a world economy, so everybody's on the same playing field. It's not ruled by...
You just get taxed differently per country that you're on.
Yeah. And there's ways around that. There's anonymous wallets like Atomic. You can buy your coin at Coinbase, throw it in Atomic wallet, and spend it on Atomic wallet, and really
and then not have to pay the taxes.
Yeah, because you're spending it. You're not really showing a profit. You're spending.
Well, and if it's international, why are we getting taxed here?
Well, because using it as a financial gain. So it's almost like, you know how when you give away a car, and even though you gifted it away, the car's worth $10,000, so they have to pay the registration taxes and blah
Right.
blah blah. It's kind of like that because it's a piece of property that has a value. So the government won't let that slide. They want their taxes on that transfer of
So
value.
the wallet's the way to go to keep it safe.
Yeah, like an atomic wallet is the way to go, to be a lot more anonymous from the government, so they don't really see every single little thing that you're doing, because it kind of sucks when you have to, like, I bought this coin with that coin with this coin with that coin at this price from that price at this price from that. It just becomes very difficult to like keep up with.
So it's still hot to get, because at one point too, another thing that I was told, was that it was very good at one point to get, but then it's not as hot now. I mean, because we have to spend more to get more. Is that why?
Yeah, and then again, the price fluctuations are pretty crazy now, so you kind of have to catch it at the right time. There's a coin right now. It's 420 at 4 o'clock, and there's a coin called Safe Moon. It's worth, I mean, I paid $500 for it, and I got 70 million coin. If that coin moves around to 1 cent, I made $770,000. If that coin becomes $1, I'll have $70 million. I mean, there's a huge profit margin in cryptocurrency. It just depends on where you put it, how you play with it, your volume of buying power. All those things take it's a lot of stuff to consider, but there's a lot of room to make money.
Where can you go and study? Like, if I'm new for the first time with Bitcoin, is there a website I should go to? Should I go to financial advisors or somebody? You said you kind of had someone that guided you. What should I do?
So it's always good to find somebody that's way above what you're doing. In any walk of life, you always want to find a mentor that's better than you. But there's a website called Torum, Torum. I'll give you my link so you can put it on the video. That site is like Facebook, but only for cryptocurrency. So So everything that people post and talk about and communicate about is all cryptocurrency. None of it is presidential politics. It all has to do with crypto. So that's one way that's really good. You do that. You get involved in the crypto community. And then there's one called Crypto News. It's an app for the phone, and it's amazing. They give you so much great information. The other thing is to read.
Mentor people?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like you can read so much stuff and find so many good little articles in there about what crypto's good and whatnot.
But are you looking to mentor people too? What if these people want to be mentored by you? Do you have time for that?
Yeah, definitely. So I actually have a mentorship program for it's $500, but I don't offer it anymore because of the whole COVID thing. I just want to start doing it for free and doing the whole sweepstakes thing. But yeah, I do offer like a little course where they break it down.
That kind of gets you into it. If you enter in the sweepstakes, we get to be in your.
Yeah, I give you a bunch of PDF documentation. I tell you what coins I like.
Worth it.
Yeah, I give you my portfolio for some of my crypto accounts so you can see how much money I made and how I made it, when I moved it, why I moved it.
That'd be great. Okay.
Yeah, so I definitely provide a lot of info. I mean, I know I just said it's $50 and you register, but you're gonna get so much stuff out of it. It's crazy. And I'm always I love talking about crypto, so you can't get me to shut up about it.
This is so cool. No, I'm looking forward to it. So everyone needs to come to your spot. What's the exact location of Sartech?
75 Bullard, Clovis, California. It's right on the corner of Bullard and Minnewawa, where the little gas station is at. Across the street.
It's kind of by the post office.
It's right across the street from the post office.
Okay. So we come in there. You're open regular hours, like what, 9 to 5?
9 to 6, correct.
9 to 6, perfect. So we can come in there, buy a raffle ticket. A month from now, we'll have the little unveiling at a Clovis location, Clovis Eatery, and then you'll tell us who won. And then the rest of us who didn't win, you're going to give us a little bit of like, hey, this is what we're going to do every month. This is a little guide, something like that.
And I'll also give the people that signed up for this sweepstakes will also get a little bonus for the next sweepstakes if they have their if they keep their registration information. I give them a little boost on stuff. So
Yes, Armenians we like free stuff.
Yeah, I know. Totally. I totally know.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Sorry, I mean, I've wanted to have this conversation for a while. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of misinformation out there. My friend lost money. I got, so it's like I get excited about things and then I get skeptical. And so I'm really glad you came on. And then hopefully I can have you on later on in the future after this when we start like really branching these events, because then you can talk about some stuff that's coming up, because I'm sure people are going to have more questions, and seeing this, they're going to have more questions. Then you can dispel more rumors.
Yeah, 100%. Anytime you want to have a little sit down, I'll be more than happy to give the information. I love crypto so much that I would love to do it.
And what's your let's all go to your Instagram too. We're gonna follow you and ask you questions there. So you gotta start looking at it then. So it's Sartech, just Sartech, Sartech.
Actually do Sartech and then COMP at the end of it.
Sartech. Okay. So yeah, we're all gonna IG you with questions.
Awesome. Yes, please do. I'll be waiting for it.
Thank you so much for coming on my show, Sar.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was awesome.
Okay.
Welcome to Everything Sparkle. Jeremy, it's so good to have you here today.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Well, you're there, I'm here, but we're here. Okay.
What are you going to perform for us?
Well, I'm going to perform, right now I'm going to perform a couple of songs I've had out for some time. They were also they were also both in my first musical, actually. It's a one-man musical called Pain in My Asperger's.
I love that.
I'm glad you do. My father came up with the name, but me, I it's my life story up to a certain point, so.
So do you have Asperger's?
I have a very minor level of it, a low level, which speaks volumes, but I'm on the spectrum and proud,
Right, because you're doing so many things. Can you tell us a little bit about the disease? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take away from your music. We brought it up.
No, it's okay. I would like to make a friendly correction, though. It's not a disease. It's it's just a different way of learning. It's the same thing as like ADD, dyslexia. It's really, they call them disorders.
Disorders. I'm sorry. We're affliction, right? I don't want to say the wrong thing either. I didn't,
No, it's all good. It's all good. My point is that, let me just grab my cup of water. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll just grab this water right here. There you go. Even the word disorder is inaccurate for this. It is just a different wiring, which means a different way of learning, which is really true about everybody, right? Nobody is exactly the same. They may come close, but even then there's still a slight difference. So it's another case of being unique and being special.
So what is a different way of learning? No, I totally understand that. I mean, I'm a slow test taker, and I feel like nothing's made for us to all understand. What is the way of learning though when you have Asperger's? Like if you can explain for like somebody who doesn't know anything about Asperger's, what's
Sure.
your explanation?
Well, it's one of the examples of getting very tunnel visioned about something and becoming very knowledgeable about it, but having a hard time diversifying, balancing it with other things, which has its pros and cons. It also, well, you know what it can do? It can make someone seem narcissistic, antisocial, or overly social. It can make it very much about oneself. And since that's what you're covering with me today, of course, favorite subject. Feels good? No. No, not real. But good to have a sense of humor about oneself. But it's almost like sort of an autopilot deal that is very one-tracked. And that doesn't mean that the Aspie, an Aspie, is meaning to do that on purpose. It's not that they don't care, really. It's just that they just don't know any better. They can't comprehend it in the same way. You could tell an Aspie, like certain Aspies, you could tell them something so clearly, but it won't get through. It won't get through, unless maybe after 10, 15 times. But sometimes it also takes a different way of explaining that is not neurotypical. And neurotypical means someone who is not on the spectrum, someone who's just there, you know. But we all have our gifts, and that's the point of my one-man musical, which I haven't run online yet, but I hope to. Well, I might not need to now because the world is coming back, isn't it? The world's coming back, baby.
Well, okay, I can't wait. So you could totally, I love they give us this background. Now it's going to be fun to hear this song. I'm
glad, yeah. Well, it's a medley of 2 songs because I want to get in as much as I can. So, okay, the first one is called No Signal Zone. This room I'm in is a coffin, 6 feet underground. I'm in plain sight for all to see, but nowhere to be found. But voices in my mind scream to be heard, but I can't get my mouth to make a sound. Trapped in a no signal zone, so close yet so far away, I can't reach anybody on the phone. Oh no, so much inside, yearning to break free. Someone please help to find the real me. What can I do to make the world understand? Or is all hope lost beyond repair? I'm a human cell phone, my signal is so very clear, but my language is never understood. Come on, everybody, gather round and follow me. We're celebrating with every bird and bee. We're all amongst friends here singing the language of love. Let's get this party rolling, we're serving potions mighty fine. Check your worries at the door, don't you decline. We're all amongst friends here singing the language of love. We're in it together with the language of love. Magenta lights are flashing, music is blaring so loud. We dance so full of soul, we should feel so proud. No need to be ashamed, sparkle, 'cause we're singing the sweet language of love.
Yeah, I love that, Jeremy. I love your voice. I hear a little bit of Elton John in there too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you. Well, he's one of my inspirations. Him and Billy Joel, certainly.
I love Billy. I'm a huge Billy Joel fan, and I did hear a little bit of that with the piano, so that's funny.
That's good. Thank you. I'm glad. Yeah. Certainly Michael McDonald. Certainly, he's one of my influences as well. Sometimes I sound like him, kind of. Well, what other people tell me. I don't mind sounding like any of these people, but you know what? I don't really try to sound like them. I'm just trying to let my natural self come out. And if it sounds like somebody else to anybody, hopefully that works for them. And there you go.
Oh, this is so good. Do you perform live? I know you're not now because of everything, but what were you doing beforehand? Were you performing live?
Before the tripods came, right? Yeah, that's a reference to an old book series, but I was actually, and I want to say this, I've got two wonderful people who have been so helpful to me. Deborah Earhart is an actor, writer, and producer. So she's done one-woman shows, and I met her one time when there was another guy playing a show that she was producing, and then I saw her do her own show, and I was just like, oh my God, this woman's incredible. And I thought, okay, I know she's married. You know, I just want to meet her and pick her brain. I asked her, look, I said, okay, I know you're married. I just one actor to another. I'd like to meet. We could have coffee sometime, pick your brain. And then she says, oh, yes, absolutely. Our friend, our mutual friend tells me that you're a singer. Do you write songs? Yes, I do. Would you mind sending me some? Fine, okay. And then later on, she and a few people came to my house. I played music for them, and she said, okay, now I can relax because I knew you could sing. I knew you could write songs, but there's a story there. And if you want me to help you bring it out, I'm willing to take you on as a client. So I said, okay, great. And this is not only a sweet woman, but she's also well-connected with producers and directors and all. And I think, great. And then I thought, now what the hell do I do? Because I've never done a life story before. But with the help of Jack Fry, who's a director, actor, writer as well, does one-man shows and other things, he helped me to write my first script. And so to help bring out my life story of living with Asperger's, being on the spectrum. And he has a writer's workshop, by the way, and I can't remember the name. But Jack Fry is his name, and he's been in movies and on television. He's done one-man plays, etc. He's great. So Jack and Deborah, they're very helpful, and they had me playing the festivals and live venues, and it was great. And I really look forward to being able to get back to that.
And was it just the music that you were playing, or were you doing like a live play? Or you haven't gotten to do the play yet?
No, I've done the play.
So so you were doing this at events. How long is the play?
It runs 70 to 80 minutes.
And then who is it? Just you, or is it a one-man show, or there's for the whole play?
It's just me on stage for the whole show.
So is it like Waiting for Godot? Is it just you start talking and then singing?
Well, I'm open to doing it that way, but in this case, for this show, I come out and immediately I start with Language of Love, actually, which was the second song in that mix there that I played for you. Those two songs go in the opposite order in the show. See, I come out playing it, and I'm playing it like to make people think, wait, he's really mean it? Does he celebrate? I don't know. I'm not sure he's really that happy. And then I stop the song and I say, I used to really believe those words, but not anymore, etc. And then I go back through my life, starting in like grade school, and I play myself and other people from my life, and also I play a caricature of a famous person. And maybe people already know, for those who are watching this who've seen my show, but I don't want to tell you who that famous person is yet. You gotta see my show online or on stage.
So you're playing multiple characters.
I am, yes.
That's got to be a challenge.
It is. I'm not going to play like, it's easy once you know how. No, it is a challenge, but I thought, well, I'd like to be able to rise to it. I've enjoyed people who have done that. At least comedic people have done that in movies. Robin Williams, Eddie Murphy's done it. so many versatile comedic actors and stand-up comics do that. And while I'm not officially a comic, not officially, I thought, well, it'd be great to be able to do that. Oh, I just thought of an example of a dramatic actor who did it. He played 2 roles. It was Kirk Douglas in The Man from Snowy River. So there's a good dramatic example.
Well, that's just such an interesting challenge that you took on. And I mean, 70 to 90 minutes and you wrote everything yourself?
Well, not quite everything myself. I mean, I had help getting it out with Jack Fry.
Okay, so we kind of co-wrote it a little bit.
Yeah, we did. I mean, in the end, it's my story. He just helped me to word it and know which subject to cover at which point and what to leave out. Well, let's take some of these words. Let's put these words in, how to phrase it. Yeah.
Jeremy, when were you diagnosed with Asperger's?
Oh, it's been about 5 to 6 years. See, that's another thing. Sometimes time management is tough for for an Aspie, but I know it's tough for a lot of people.
You didn't know that till almost on the recent end then, right? If it was 5 or 7 years ago.
Well, it's only been a few years in the sense. I mean, it's been less, I think it's been closer to, but not quite a decade. And it was out here. Now, for Poetic License, just so you all know out there, in the show, it's written that I was diagnosed at a much younger age. Although there is some basis of truth to that, because at much younger ages, I was diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, OCD, MTV, VH1,
Is that because they weren't really as familiar with Asperger's? Because, I mean, I didn't know about it until kind of a time that you said that you were diagnosed. This is something that I learned about probably about 10 to 15 years ago. So maybe you always had it, but you were just recently diagnosed, right? Is that what they were kind of suggesting?
Oh, more recently in life, yes. But I mean, it's like I was diagnosed and misdiagnosed again and again. But I guess if people don't really know about something until they know about it.
Right.
Yeah, I guess you can't really blame anyone as long as they're fair and they're trying their best. Because not every person has their certificate, their license in psychology, deserves it. Not all of them.
That's true. So, what is Asperger's a form of autism or no? Can you just spell some myths for us?
Yeah, sure. Well, it is considered part of the autism spectrum. It used to, we still use the term Aspie and Asperger's, but apparently that's been officially undone. It's now just all autism, which I'm not really agreeing with. I think we should have our identity and be able to say this is who we are and be proud of it and not just get lumped into generality, because that also, I think, makes it easier for misdiagnoses. So that's just my opinion, but I wonder if there are other people out there who share that with me.
What are some things that you could tell us that aren't true that you've heard? What are some rumors you've heard about Asperger's that you're like, no, that's not true at all?
Okay. Well, the stigma that has gone with it, that it's a disease, that, or also the ignorant way of thinking that, oh, for God's sake, just snap out of it, just focus. It's not that simple. One might try, but that doesn't mean they're able to get it. And it's, you know what? It's not because one is not necessarily focused in that sense, but if one's having a hard time understanding or taking in as much as someone else can, or understanding it in a different way that they can, it's going to be easily overwhelming, and you're gonna kind of black out of it, in your head, right? I mean, if you're overwhelmed with something, if too much comes at you in a way you don't understand, how can you stay with it?
Right. Well, this is so great. You're giving a voice for. Have you heard a lot of feedback from people with Asperger's that are loving what you're doing?
I've heard some. Yeah, I've heard from people, either they were on the spectrum somewhere themselves, Asperger's or something else, or I heard from people who mentioned, oh yeah, my brother has that, or I think my cousin in Colorado might have it, something like that. Or I have a couple like someone else would come up and say, I have a couple friends who are on the spectrum, and it was great. And thank you for being the voice and One woman told me about someone in her family who was misunderstood, and it just got to me like, oh, you know, in a little Q&A we did after one of my performances. By the way, those several of those were at the Santa Monica Playhouse. Great venue, good people.
I love that place. Yeah, that's so cool that you've been performing there.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it's run by, oh God, this is embarrassing. I forgot her name. Lovely woman who was also quite the famous child actress. She was, she could at the time she was a rival for, in true form here, Shirley Temple. But I can't remember her name. Oh. So embarrassing. Okay.
Oh, no, it's fine. And your music right now, we can hear on Spotify, and it's this music, it's a lot of the music from the play and then other stuff as well.
Yes. Well, actually, there are only a few songs on each of these sites. I need to get more of them up, but 10 new songs that I've either recently written or had under wraps for a while, and now I'm, you know, sharpening them. I've put them into the U.S. Copyright Protection Office. You know, they've got the copyright protection on them now. And oh, you still, hello? We good?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. I just
You
make
hear
sure.
me?
I thought my screen went a little dark.
Oh, it went dark.
Here, let me see. Well, not all the way dark, just
Oh, no. Okay. Now I can
see that's another thing. An Aspie can very, very much get distracted and go off on a tangent. But help me to reel it back in. What were we? Oh, the songs on the site. Well,
yeah, I know. We want to know if we could hear some of those. If we could hear the stuff that you have in the play, the stuff that you played today in the play on there.
You mean the first? You mean the Pain in My Asperger's, right?
Yeah, if we can get all of that on Spotify.
Oh,
or SoundCloud.
Well, you know what? I believe 3 of them for sure are those 2 that you just heard as 2 full separate songs. And one other I wrote called Online Dating.
Oh, that's going to be fun. Is that what you're going to play for us next?
If you want, sure. I also wanted to play a couple of songs that I recently put in the copyright protection so that they're safe. But
we can play those. No, we'll look up Online Dating. That's fine. Play what you had planned. That's good. I just love that. That's so clever that you're saying about it.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I can play from all of the above. I mean, I'm prepared. I'll play the first part of Online Dating for you, and then we'll see.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Great. Thank you. I chatted with a woman named Funky 69. We met the next day at Hollywood and Vine. Acted nothing like a profile, nothing like a photograph. Now I know why her name is Funky. She smells like toilet crap. They say online dating is such a wonderful life, and online dating will help you find a wife. You want more of a love life, a computer will save the day. You want to find that special someone. Good news, folks, she's just a click away. So as you see, I'm really not bitter at all about online dating. So, yeah, Randy Newman is one of my inspirations too, and his lyrics are funny, sarcastic, dry. You know, he's like the black sheep of the standard corporate songwriter performer. I love corporate rock and pop, but you know that he's unique in that sense to appreciate how he writes, how he plays, and how he sings. I don't want to literally emulate his style in terms of being a singing non-singer, but I have nothing at all against him. He's an amazing artist.
So what's the next one?
Okay, well, I have a couple of other songs I'm going to mesh together, and guess what? There are 2 of the songs that I'm putting into a new musical I'm writing, which I'm writing with the mindset of not one-man show. I don't want to talk about the story much yet, but I will as soon as it's more ready for workshopping. But here's a bit of some of the songs. You treat me so divine. Your words are more than kind, and I will pay you back in due time. You've done so much for me. Tenfold must return to thee, which I promise you in due time. I keep forgetting to return each favor to the one who's been my savior. If only I would write things down, I'll just do that a little later. My tardiness is wrong, as proven in this song, and I'll repent Scout's honor. Just give me a little longer. I have the knowledge to build that proper bridge between schedules, yours and mine, in due time. As soon as you set foot onto the street, there's often a new person to meet with a nugget of knowledge or a story to tell. What an inspiring treat. Have you ever seen the world with all your being? Every inch and every crevice is a wonder. Never a dull moment, always something new to learn. If only you would take it in. Strolling around, I bet you find plants and flowers that grow bigger than the eyes can see. Well, nice small houses, skyscrapers far and wide. It all sets your mind free. Have you ever seen the world with all your being? Every inch and crevice is a wonder. Never a dull moment, always something new to learn. If only you could take it in. Stop wearing yourself thin.
I love that, Jeremy. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for coming on my show today.
Well, thank you. It's truly an honor to be. I'm so glad you were able to have me on your show, and I look forward to when it's all settled. I hope to be back on your show, but in person. Back to the world.
I can't wait to see your performance live. I will be there.
Right. Yes. You consider yourself in. It's all
Thank
good.
you so much, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt just wanted to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here. Oh, I must confess, dear. Don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do. And there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend. Playing pretend. Playing pretend.
It's a mystery.